Hi, I'm Karl, and in this video, I'm going to show you a little bit about what I've learned about YouTube. This is actually a session that I did for the eLearning Guild. If you subscribe to my channel, you will see that there are 3 different videos that I kind of broke that hour-long presentation down into different sections. So you'll hear me practicing, getting warmed up, and I really wanted to share all the great, cool things that I've learned about setting up my YouTube channel so far. So hope you enjoy. Check it out. So this designer wonders, our team wants to use more videos, but we're not sure where to start. Could we build our own corporate YouTube? I mean, YouTube's the future. This is a very exciting development. I learned how to fix my sump pump thanks to some wonderful person that made a sump pump video and uploaded it to YouTube. It really is incredible, the amount of knowledge sharing that goes on. So pardon the pun, but here's the scoop on what I know about YouTube. So I've set up a YouTube channel. You may not know it, but you have one too. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube channel. That doesn't mean that you've uploaded anything to it. I jokingly call mine my midlife crisis. I've hit a point where I want to share what I've learned as an instructional designer and an e-learning developer. So I put together these little videos. I have a whole concept called e-learning recipes that you can check out. But if you want to add to your channel, you can actually go and create a video like I've done. I like to use Camtasia. There's other tools I use as well. But you can upload a video, and if you're interested, the folks at Adobe Connect make a wonderful product, but if you don't have access to it, you can actually do webinar software using the Go Live feature. So I'm going to show you both of those, as well as some of the behind the scenes stuff as far as what you can have when you run a YouTube channel. So you may be thinking, oh my gosh, Karl, you've missed the boat. That is not what we're interested in. I don't want our company's knowledge to be up there and shared for all the world to see. Totally valid point. I don't work in the legal team. I wouldn't recommend you put your videos up as public unless they were created for the public. However, I do think that unlisted is a good option. I'm jokingly calling this security through obscurity. So if you put a video up, you can mark it as unlisted, which means that anyone that has the link would be able to access it. If someone were able to just sort of accidentally type in the specific string of random numbers and letters that come after your YouTube video, they would be able to find it as well. However, the odds of them being able to do that, if something's not searchable, if you can't index it, you can't find it, then it really is sort of hidden in plain sight. So if this is a good fit for you, I'm going to talk a lot about unlisted. If you wanted to take the time, you see here there is a private option as well. You can keep your videos so that you would say, okay, here's 20 email addresses. These are our sales reps. They're the only ones who can see it. The problem is when one sales rep leaves and another one comes, then you have to go back and actually update the video permissions. So I'm not saying that it's impossible. You would be able to use YouTube for the little bit of time that it would take. You would be able to have your videos actually protected. But these are sort of your different options for putting videos together. So with that in mind, let me show you a few things. This is a playlist. You can go through and you can actually organize your videos. So if you have 100 videos, but maybe only 8 of them are about a certain topic, you can put those together in a playlist. That playlist is going to be able to be shared on your YouTube page as well. I show an example in a minute of how I use one that's hidden from sight, so you can have your playlists unlisted as well. But yeah, people can go through, they can take a look at them. I do these private or unlisted playlists. I do workshops for companies to help them with software skills and design skills. Here's an example of what one of my pages. I put together this sort of landing page, if you will, or coaching page with all the different resources. So we show, as we're teaching how to build interactive exercises, we go through, and what I actually do is I go through and for part of it I do a screen recording in Camtasia, so that I'm actually capturing the live session for them, and then someone is actually able to go in and to say, okay, Karl is showing us something about hotspots. I can click that and then I can come in and I can actually view the video that's all about hotspots. So this is a nice resource that you really can put together very easily. So private or unlisted playlists, what I just showed you there was built with a different tool, but in a minute I'm going to show you a great resource that you can use to have sort of a coaching landing page like that as well. So when you have YouTube, one of the great things about YouTube, of course, is that it's free, but other than that, it's popular. My goodness, there are so many things going on YouTube. I think as time moves forward, if my 4-year-old twins are any indication, they don't care about regular TV, they want to watch YouTube. So I really think that as we move forward deeper and deeper into the information age, even if it's not the actual YouTube itself, a sort of YouTube mindset where it's like, hey, I know about something, rather than answer this email 100 times, I'm going to make a 2-minute video. And next time I get that question, I can just shoot them a link to the email. So it shows them how to fill out their TPS reports or whatever the topic is. So these are some of the videos that I've uploaded. You'll see that I have many that are public. I have one that I'm working on that's called, that's unlisted at the moment. So that's something, there's 2 views. I sent it to my buddy Eric and I watched it myself, and those are the 2 views. You can see I enjoy making my YouTube channel, but I don't have a ton of activity on it. So here's a look at what the YouTube channel itself looks like, or this is called the YouTube Studio. So this is something that you are able to access. This is the back-end administrative part. You have a dashboard that gives you little tips and news and information about what's going on. It shows what I've done, and they really do a good job at YouTube of teaching you how to set up a good YouTube channel. It is wonderfully done. You have all the different videos, and I can go through and I can control the different settings. There you see public, private, and unlisted, as well as analytics. This is a little depressing because I do not have a very popular channel, but you can see that as I put videos out, it gives me the different insight on them. It says, okay, these are how many we're building up. And then, like I'd mentioned, they talked about building an audience. So, of course, people can comment on your presentations. There's one from the lovely Karen Davis. I have a number of people that I've shared this with. You can comment moderation is there. Hopefully your training videos go viral and people are commenting. That would be wonderful. If you work with multiple languages, you can actually have transcriptions that are there. That's a process that's all documented. I'm not going to spend all of our time in there, but there are a number of cool things that you can do with this YouTube Studio. Including, I forgot to show this one, you can actually go into a video and you can edit it. So now that we've gone into a video, you see the details, the analytics for that particular video. What you were seeing a minute ago were the analytics for my channel, but I can even go in and I can say, okay, you know, when you watch a video, I assume you've been to YouTube before, and at the very end of it, you can have a little end screen. So it's like, if you like this video, here's 4 other videos that you might like. So you can go in here and add those. You can do some different effects. You can add music, you can work with your volume and different things like that. So it really is a pretty neat, I wouldn't say that this is going to replace a program like Premiere or Final Cut, or like I said, I use Camtasia. But it is powerful, and there is a lot that you can do, particularly that, hey, let me just cut off the first 10 seconds of my video. So let me go back here and I will show you what I think is a really exciting development. This is something that used to be a lot more complicated, and you see that I've used the word much, not once, but twice, 3 times. Much, much, much easier. You see me giving you a high five there because I think it's very exciting. If you have something to say, you can simply click the button, you get a screen like this, you give it a title. If you want to schedule it for later, you can. Whoa! If you want to whoa! If you want to if you want to schedule it for later, you can. There's some other options here. And if you click down here under your encoder live settings, you'll see that you can actually come in here. They have a newer version and an older version, but you can go in, and if you make a new live event, you can go in here and you can actually do a quick Google Hangout. So let me show you a little bit about what that is like. I did a Google Hangout, a live Google Hangout with me, myself, and I. I used another laptop and I set it up, and just to make it more memorable, I have added my friend and hero, Colonel Sanders, as the other participant in the Google Hangout. So I can go on, I can give the link to the Colonel or anyone else that's on the team that I'm collaborating with. And then as they speak, they're able to actually come and join, and so that it's actually a discussion between the two of us. Of course, you can control that. You'll see here during your live Hangout, if you're familiar with Google Hangouts, you'll see a couple new buttons here. There is a chat and there's a screen share that I'll show in a minute. This one's called Cameraman. So I have this by default. It's set up that says, hey, as somebody joins, are they like part of the show? Are they going to be part of the audio and the video? Are we going to broadcast the large video and hide the other videos? Or do we want to make it so that when the Colonel's speaking, we see him, and when Karl's speaking, we see him? New guests are muted when they join. This is set to no. That's sort of curious settings by default. I would probably move all of these over, and then I can use the buttons over here to actually go in and to say, okay, Mike Taylor's awesome. I'm going to have him join this. Or Karen Davis is great. Let's have her join our presentation. You also have something here that they call Control Room. So you can go through, like I said, I was logged in as myself and myself again. I photoshopped in the picture of the Colonel there. But when you're going, you actually have, as the person who sets it up, you can kind of level out the audio. So if someone's a soft talker and we need to bump up their volume a little so we can hear them, we can do that. Or if somebody like me who shouts and screams all the time, we can back it down. You can mute them, you can shut off their camera, you can control all those kinds of things. So it's pretty neat. You have the ability to go live. There is a chat window. That chat window is not part of the archive. And then, of course, if you're doing software training, like I do a lot of storyline training, and here's how you use the e-learning development tools. So I need something that can screen share. So this is great that I can go in and I can actually screen share for a little bit, and you will see what I'm showing. So this is a video. This was actually the very first time that I figured out this feature. I did 14 minutes of me talking to me by myself, so I've called that the sound of one hand clapping. But you'll see that every video, I'm showing you now what it looks like for any video. It could be one that's made with Google Hangouts. It could be one that's made and uploaded. You'll see info and settings, so you can go through and add your description and your basic information. You can do things with translations, and whether it's public or private. You can tweet it out so that people know about it, put it in playlists, those kinds of things. You also have these different enhancements. The one that I like the best is if it's sort of shaky footage, they actually have some algorithms that will edit it so that it's a little bit smoother. You can control your end screen like we were talking about before and swap out the audio. So if you wanted a background track of music behind your presentation, that's all for you there as well. So that's a little bit about Google Hangouts and YouTube. It really is something that I think as more and more people are, how popular is it to watch other people play video games? Incredibly popular. So I don't expect YouTube to let other sites like Twitch own and dominate that market. I think that this live streaming, these live presentations are really going to be an area where we keep seeing improvements. It's already changed a lot in the last few months, and I expect that to continue. So a little bit of extra bonus sweetness. You may be saying, Karl, I've got a ton of PowerPoints. I just want to talk over them so that I don't have to go into new hire orientation every Monday. How can I just change that to a video? It's actually a lot easier than you think. You take that video and you go through here, and under the audio you can record some audio. If you have a decent microphone, it really makes a big difference. But then you can go through and you can actually do a save as, so you would go through and narrate every single slide and then go here and save it as an MPEG-4 video. That's going to be a nice presentation. Another thing that's nice about that, say you have 30 slides in your presentation and 2 of them are updated 6 months later, you can actually go through and leave your current narration for the other slides and update those 2 slides and then save it again as a new MPEG-4 and upload that back to YouTube. Pretty cool. So, I told you a minute ago that I did the little coaching pages, and I used a tool called Lead Pages, which are really great. But Google Sites has something that is equally impressive and awesome. So Google Sites, this is something that also has been updated recently. If you are familiar with the old version of Google Sites, it is a little bit clunky. This is basically how to build your own web page using Google's tool. So I recommend using this as a landing page for all your videos. So this is an example I found. I'm trying to learn more and more about XAPI because I think that's a powerful tool. So you can actually go through and you can, here's an example of one that I found. This was put together. I did not make this one, but someone said, hey, I made a bunch of YouTube videos. Let me give them all a home. Well, how do I give people like the full deal so that maybe it's a playlist, but playlists are nice, but it's hard to add text to a playlist. It's simply video, 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 video. So here, Philippe has gone through and created these. So he sort of says, here's how you launch a course. These are the different steps. You can go through and watch any of these. These he put captions on and this wonderful French music behind it. So he's got all the different videos that are here. You can go through and you can see all the different videos. And then he's got another section for, okay, now how do you actually get the statements out of this? I'm not trying to talk about XAPI. I'm simply showing you, hey, if you have some YouTube videos and you wanted to make something that's like a course or think of it as a resource, you could easily go in and to do a Google site to make a sort of landing page or a home page for all that content. The Google Sites really are neat. And I said responsive design, that means it's going to look great on your phones. So a lot of times people think, oh geez, I need a complicated tool so that it can be viewed both in mobile and on my tablet and on my computer. No, this is a very easy one. I'm going to show you one that I made here. The video editing here, Philippe actually set this up so that anyone could go through and edit and make changes. I did my best not to do any of that because it's a nice resource. But you can go through. Here's a little bit of the editor. Merci, Philippe. Thank you for sharing this example with us. Okay, so Google Sites is really neat. You want to whip up a site in no time. It is very easy to do. I'm actually going to go and show you how to add a new page. So I have set up this Google site. This is something that I'm doing live here. You'll see that I went through already. I can scroll down this. I made this eLearning Guild page. I can go through here and you see that I have the Google spreadsheet that I showed you earlier. I showed you the Google form for the quiz. I can actually give those a home here within my Google site. And of course, I can also do other things like put in regular text boxes. I said put in regular text boxes and you can type them around. You have a very easy, very intuitive interface where you can go through, you can duplicate them, you can control little backgrounds. It gives you some control, but not a ton. You can put in links, of course. You can go through if you have other resources that you wanted to do. One of Mike Taylor's great SlideShare presentations, if I wanted to stick that in here, I could go and click embed and then paste that little code in there. So that's fun. So over here you see that I've got different pages. I made one here for the eLearning Guild. I called it eLearning Guild Rules. I put in a little video. I added some handouts. I'm actually going to go through and delete that. And you see that they give you different themes as well. So again, it's not super sophisticated. If you make your living as a web designer, you would rightfully turn up your nose at this. However, it is a resource that you should stick in your back pocket to do, hey, you know, we need a website at my church. We don't have a budget. Okay, great. You know what I would recommend? Try something like Google Sites. You have the same options. You can add in other collaborators. You can get a link for it. You can publish it. You can restrict it. You have the different publish settings and things like that. You can keep it hidden. You can share it. There's a lot of neat things that you can do with this. So, Google Sites. Here's a look at one that I did. And finally, the cherry on top, the end of our show here. I'm going to go ahead and show you one more tool that you can use. There are others that are there. I would say that this Google Classroom isn't for everyone, but it really is a great tool for someone who's trying to run a traditional kind of course. If you have a 6-week course for managers, or you have new hire training, but you don't know what to do and you want to give them sort of a modern feel and you want it to be online, if you are here, I put together a Google Classroom here for the eLearning Guild. You can go through and check. They have a different stream, similar to Facebook. They have an activity stream. You can go through and add different bits of classwork. You can say, hey, here's what we put up. Here's an assignment that you would go through. This one says no due date, but you actually could go through and add it. You can make a class calendar that shows when everything is due. And then they have different people. So you can actually have people self-enroll in this course. Hey, if you want to learn about the new product features, or if you want to be part of the community outreach, here's what we say, here's what we work with, here's the new. So it really is a pretty neat tool. It really is intended more for K-12 than for corporate learners, but I think this is a tool that could work in either case. So with that, I want to share my final thoughts with you. One, don't be afraid to shake it up. Go in, check out the new tools. Google is constantly improving and making these different products that are there for you. If it is possible to bring some of this into your training ecosystem, whether it's at work or if it's in your personal life, it's your son's soccer team, maybe something like this could be easier. Maybe you could make one resource that's easily updatable and keeps all the parents in the loop for what's going on. The forms are great, the slides are neat, they're mobile, they're accessible, they're easy to make. There's a very short learning curve, so people with basic skills would be able to do this. And rather than it being shared on their hard drives, is now up and shared on the web so that other people can collaborate and view and see. So this is what I think is exciting about the Google Suite. I've made all these silly little jokes here, but I really do think this is incredibly sweet. It's very neat. I think there's not the... So when I showed this slide to Karen, she's like, Karl, you don't want people to think of you as the gum stuck to the bottom of the shoe. So maybe however, I'm always curious about what is going to stick with you. What is it that you're going to remember about our time together here? I'm going to pause for a couple minutes and let people share in their comments. So thank you. That is the end of my time here. I will be in the chat session afterward. If you would like to reach out, I do a newsletter that's available. You can sign up for that or get in contact with me at my website, eLearning Blends. You see how to tweet at me, connect on LinkedIn. And if you're interested in handouts, these slides have been published and put up online, so you would be able to go through and all of these links will work. As we're screen sharing, you're not able to click on them. However, I hope that this is a resource that feel free to share, feel free to tweet at me, and thank you for all your time and attention today. Great session.